Alexis, I want to start with you. Tell me a little bit about your magical experience at Disney World, because I guess I haven't even said what your magical experience was.
Yeah. So my magical experience was getting married at Disney World in the parks. Um, and so yeah, my partner and I got engaged in 2019, just before the pandemic. And we kind of decided and knew at the time we wanted to get married in Disney. That was kind of, we're both huge Disney fans. Pandemic hit and threw all of our plans, of course. Um, but we recently obviously got the chance to actually do it. It took about year to a year and a half of planning. But yeah, we ended up having a wedding in Epcot in the France area, and we had a bunch of events and things around that as well.
Yeah, I'm going to show some of your photos from the wedding. Sorry if you're listening to this on the podcast. But some of these photos are just gorgeous. You were gorgeous. I was lucky enough to be at the wedding, and you were gorgeous. Alex was amazingly handsome. Here I am using names again. I apologize.
You're fine. You're fine.
But I mean, you can see here in this picture, you got you two kissing. The fireworks are going off. You had like this special area for the fireworks. Your cake was just, not only did it taste really good, they have Eve and Wally. You also have Mr. Fredrickson and Ellie on the cake. It's just wonderful. Sorry, I was thinking about her vows again, and they were like, I'm going to cry if I think about her vows. Anyways, Mickey and Minnie come to the wedding, which is amazing. This is a photo of me and my family. You can see I look like a hobo, but Alexis was kind enough to, again, invite me to the wedding and allow me to come, which is amazing. Alexis looking stunning in the, where is this? This is the garden?
UK, yeah, it's I think like the Butterfly Garden or something is what it's called. But yeah, it's the UK area in Epcot.
Yeah. And then back here, nobody at the park. I'm curious, was this actually the night of the wedding, or did you have to wear
it? So I ended up wearing the dress 3 different times. So we had 2 different photo sessions. One was at Epcot, where the photos were taken. The last photo was taken. We did a portrait session, and yeah, that one's from the Epcot photo portrait session, and then the other one is from the Magic Kingdom one. Both were on separate days from the wedding, so I got 3 different days use out of a wedding dress, which is a great. I feel like a great ratio.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, and this one is just one that I love. This is Alexis and her partner Alex kissing on the teacups. Not like inside a teacup, everybody around, all that stuff. No, like literally on the teacup ride. And is this I can't tell, is this morning or night?
Yeah, so all of the theme park sessions are all in the morning, and you have to be done an hour before the park opens. And so...
Wow. So you're up at like 4 a.m.
Yeah, our day started, I think we started hair and makeup at 3:30 in the morning, 3:30 or 4, and then we got picked up at, I want to say like 5:30 or 6. You get driven to the parks, and then you get sort of taken around to different spots. For Magic Kingdom, there's 3 different routes they can take you on. You just pick a route. For other parks, you can basically just say, I would like to go here and here, and they'll just customize wherever you want to go for taking pictures.
Nice.
Now,
was
Alexis,
Oh, go
I'm
ahead,
sorry.
Cameron.
For those 3 different routes at Magic Kingdom, do they all include the castle, or is the castle only included in like one of those routes?
They all include the castle. They all start at the castle. One goes up and around past Teacups, which is the one we did. One goes down through past the Haunted Mansion, that direction. And I honestly don't remember where the third one goes. But, yeah.
Okay.
you just kind of pick which route, and it goes. Everybody starts at the castle, and then you go wherever you're going next.
Okay.
Okay, side
cool.
note. I'm sorry. One more question. Now, are there multiple couples there? Or is it kind of like it's just you and one photographer? Or is it just like, all right, we got 10 couples. Here we go. Get it going.
They do a maximum of one couple per route per day.
Okay.
So there's only up to 3 couples there. We had only 1 couple there for our day. We had 1 other couple, and we didn't actually even see them until almost towards the end. We saw them from a distance and waved at them. So, Disney World's pretty big, so
Yeah.
a lot of space.
Yeah. Okay, so tell me this. What was for you going down... Actually, well, real quick, just heading back to something you said. 2019, you get engaged. You know that you want to have this wedding in Disney World. Did Disney cancel a 2020 plan? Did y'all, how did that kind of work between you and Disney?
Yeah, so we hadn't actually... So we started to think about sort of dates and what we wanted to do. Disney has specific timelines. You can't... So you can start the contact at 16 months out. You can actually start to engage with planning 12 months out when you're doing your wedding with them. And that's when you can actually sign up for a date and, start the real process. And so we were kind of thinking about our dates and what we wanted to do. We weren't in a rush to do anything, so we were thinking probably February of 2021 was our date. So we were going to do at the 16-month mark, basically start the conversation, and then the 12-month mark, actually book a date. But obviously, pandemic hit before we even hit the 16-month mark. And so we actually didn't even get a chance to reach out and start the discussions until much later. So.
But it was trying to think of when we're at. So it was 2 years delayed, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
basically. We did. So we were February 2023. We started talking to them, I think, the moment we could. So I think we started, we sent an initial contact in November of 2021 or something, and then did our official planning starting February of 22.
Got it. Awesome. Okay, so let's put rubber to the road. For you, what was the most magical experience? I mean, you wanted to have your Disney... And can I say that you had to fly across the country, literally fly across the country to get to Disney
Yes.
World? So you wanted to do this whole thing. What was the most magical experience for you?
It is really hard to pick and to say. I think for me, number 1 and number 2 are pretty close for very different reasons. So number 1 is definitely sort of the reception and the ceremony and having everybody. It was just great. I mean, it was really wonderful to just have everyone we really cared about there, present. It was a beautiful night. We were worried a little bit about the weather, but it ended up being the absolute perfect temperature.
It was great.
Everything just kind of lined up perfectly on that night, and it was really great. So it was great to have everybody there. That was kind of a number 1, but a really close number 2 is actually we did a VIP tour with the wedding party 1 day before. So the night before the wedding, we did a VIP tour with our wedding party and everybody's partners. And we went through and did the VIP tour, and that was a hugely fun experience, but it was also just fun to have all 10 people just kind of running around, having fun together, going through the parks. It's not often you get to do that with that big of a group, and especially when you've got the VIP tour and you're not standing and waiting in lines for 3 hours the whole time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And during your wedding, I will say that was back when people were actually going to Disney World and the lines were long. And we waited in a line for Soarin' it was supposed to be like 70 minutes. I swear it was 90 minutes. And yeah, so definitely a time when the lines were long. Cool to do the VIP tour, which is exactly what we started with. Not to get you on Disney's bad side or anything, but I'm curious to know, was there anything that was less than magical about the experience?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, and this is something that actually changed post-pandemic. So prior to the pandemic, the wedding staff was actually really well staffed, and they would start planning like. So when you're going through the process, there's a bunch of different stages. You sort of start high-level planning 12 months out, but you don't start talking to your specific wedding planner until what used to be 6 months out. So you would actually get assigned a specific wedding planner. This one person would be in charge of like the actual planning, coordination, all of that. There's a different day of person and all of that, but the wedding planner is sort of responsible for everything ahead of time. But after the pandemic, so during the pandemic, let everybody go. When they brought everybody back, they did not fully staff it. And so it basically started where instead of that 6 months out, we started getting towards 2 or 3 months was actually the window when you start talking to the wedding planner. And so that makes it a really tight timeline to actually come up with all of the things. Now, obviously, everything worked out. It was great. Everyone was involved in making it a super magical night, which was wonderful. But it definitely was a very quick turnaround because you're starting at the 3-month mark and you have to have everything solidified before the 30-day mark. Your full budget has to be like solid by that point. You can add to it after that, but you can't subtract from it. So you basically have anywhere from 30 to 60 days to make sure every detail that you want is buttoned down so you have the final price so you can pay it 30 days out.
Okay. Is it like... Oh, go ahead, Cameron. Sorry.
I was just saying that's just unnecessary stress. Because if you're thinking about it, like, if you're at the 3-month mark and then you have like, oh yeah, everything has to be finalized 30 days out. So you don't have 3 months to plan. Like, you have 2. And
Right.
I mean, you think like, 2 months, like weeks go by like this.
Yep. And it's a long turnaround too because they are understaffed. So oftentimes you'd send an email and you wouldn't hear back for like 4 or 5 days. And
You're eating my clock.
Gosh, are
Stop
you serious?
eating my clock.
Yeah. So it ends up being, as you get closer, obviously that turnaround time gets much quicker, but especially at the beginning, like you're basically waiting 4 or 5 days between emails sometimes.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Reclaiming my time.
Okay.
Reclaiming my time.
So once you're there though, did you feel like you were, straight up VIP? Like,
oh, definitely. So everybody, like, for each of the events around it, everyone was fantastic. All the cast members were great. One of the things that I actually really appreciated was weddings are chaos. You oftentimes, like, there's so many people, you're talking to, time is flying by. And a common thing is you don't eat because you're so distracted by everyone and everything. But one of the things that I really appreciated, they had 2 day of coordinators for us, and they basically made sure that, there was a certain point they came over like, hey, I noticed you haven't eaten yet. I made you a plate. It's over. Just go have a seat,
Nice.
Eat it, whatever. And so there was a lot of little moments like that where it just felt very taken care of at a personal level, where I didn't have to, we didn't worry about any of the details on day of. We weren't worried about anything. We were just kind of told where to go, helped out whatever we needed help. everything was helped out for us, I should say. We weren't doing the helping out, but yeah,
I think
it was great.
I think it also helps. You know, this is my perception. It did not seem like you were Bridezilla in any way, shape, or form. I got to the wedding and I was like, you know, Alexis, look at your dress. What is it? What type of dress is it? And you were like, I don't know. Like, it's a dress. I was like, okay. I don't know if you were just being kind about like me not knowing, but like you seemed to just be so chill. And even I didn't put one of these pictures up here, but you have pictures of you and Alex wearing sneakers and all that sort of thing. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, we definitely tried to keep it fairly relaxed. We went through several different phases in planning the wedding. One of the phases had, I think, over 100 guests. We're like, no, we don't want to do that. Let's not do that. And that was just family. Like that was before we got to friends and other people. So, our final guest list was something like 30, 36 or something, I think. So it was pretty small, which is great.
I can't believe I made that cut.
Yeah, we kept it to mostly just immediate family, but kind of our priority for the whole thing was to keep it, you know, it's going to be a wonderful day, and the wonderful part is that we get married, and stuff was going to go well, stuff was going to go wrong, and, you know, as long as we had everybody there having fun, and as long as we sort of got married at the end of it, we were good.
Yeah. If you can't tell, Alexis is an amazing person. Like, I tell my wife this, like, I've learned so much about love, like literally just love in general, by just being around Alexis, watching her, listening to her talk and all that stuff. If you ever like get the chance to interact with her, email address, whatever, everything is love. It's like @love.com, @love, like everything is love. But that's literally like who she is and just embodies that. So thank you, Alexis. I appreciate the overview.
I feel like you're overselling me here, but
I am not at all. I am not at all. When we worked together, I'd like come home. We were remote, but like, you know, come home from work and, you know, give my wife some sort of like bit of wisdom or whatever, and I'd be like, that's from Alexis. Like, that's not mine. I can't claim that. So yeah. So all right. I'm going to put you over here, Alexis. Thank you.